Yo, what's up guys, it's me Jake here, and today I'm going to be trying to organize this video like I did for my manga haul last week, but today we're doing my reading log for the month of May. Now you might notice this kind of section kind of being empty right now. Basically, I just got a bunch of volumes off Right Stuff, and this is where they're all going to go. It's one series, so this is where they're going to go. I just made space, so for the next couple videos it's going to be empty for a little bit, so just don't bother that, and that's just an answer for this question that's probably going to show up in the future, but yeah, just want to let you guys know that. But let's get into the reading log, because I did read quite a bit this month. I think I read around like 30 to 35 volumes, which again is a lot for me, but it might not be a lot for you guys, because a lot of you guys read a lot, but let's just get straight into it. First off, an amazing series that I still very much enjoy. I did make a video on this as well. That's going to be Ranma Half Volume 3 and 4. I did make a video on this. Card will be right here. Really enjoyed Ranma. This second 2 and 1, I mean, was really enjoyable. I loved the developments of Ranma, and I really liked seeing the beginning with his kind of match against Kodachi, and I thought it was a really interesting volume. I liked the developments that happened within this volume, and I definitely cannot wait to read more. I'm kind of reading this one kind of slow, because it's like one of those manga where I read something dark. I really want to read a lighthearted manga. I'm going to read Ranma, because it's one of those things that is super lighthearted, and you can kind of go read at your own pace at any time, and you can still kind of remember most of the story, because it isn't really that confusing, and I think Rumiko Takahashi really did a good job with that. I really like Ranma, because I can pick it up at any time, and really enjoy the series. Really funny, really wholesome, and I really like the characters in it with Ranma and Akane, and even the other characters like Kodachi and Ryugo and Genma. Genma's my favorite character, but really love the cast and this amazing manga. Definitely highly suggested, but yes, I did read Volume 3 and 4 of Ranma Half. Now, as of the recording of this video, this came out today, but this technically came out yesterday as you guys are seeing this, but Chainsaw Man Volume 5. I technically didn't read Chainsaw Man Volume 5 yesterday. I actually read the rest of Chainsaw Man on the Jump app. And that's the reason I'm showing Volume 5 is I didn't read it physically, but I'm going to be picking up the rest physically because, man, oh man, is Chainsaw Man great. It was like a 9 out of 10 for me. Really love it, and I just want to say, all you Makima simps out there, Rezi's best girl, no cap. She can speak Russian in my ear, that's all I need to know. And Rezi shows up in this volume, best girl shows up, so what can you do? And for all the Power simps out there, she's my number 2. I love Power, but Rezi's just my number 1. If you don't know, I love the choker thing, it's just, I don't know, I just like it a lot. But, super amazing series, very, very dark. To be honest, I really feel like this kind of made me not like JJK as much, as once I caught up to this, I really felt like JJK was trying to copy Chainsaw Man with the whole edginess of the Shibuya arc, and even up till recently. I feel like it tried taking on the Chainsaw Man role, and I really don't like how it's going, because I don't think Gege Akatami's writing style really meshes with it. But I think it works really well with Tatsuki Fujimoto, because that's his writing style, and that's how he's been writing his whole entire career. And it just really, he just found a way to make it work. And I think Chainsaw Man is an amazing example of that. Definitely suggest Chainsaw Man highly. I rate it like a 9 out of 10. Amazing series, and don't bark. Just please, just don't bark. Next up is a series, I don't know if I'm going to make a video on it, but I might in the future, I just don't know. It's Portus. It's a horror manga, it's a one-shot. It's not bad. I actually did very much enjoy it. The art is fantastic. I think the art's probably the best thing about the series. I think it's like probably a solid like 6, 7 out of 10. Nothing insane. But since this is a series that most of you probably don't know, I'll give you guys a synopsis for this. That's the only reason I didn't give you guys a synopsis for Ranma and Chainsaw Man. I think they're very popular and I don't really need to give one for that. But Portus, I probably do. Basically, there's this video game that if you get high enough level, sometimes you'll get this hidden message that says, do you want to enter the game? And if you do, you die. And basically, our main character's best friend dies, and she's trying to destroy that whole entire thing of if you get this far in the game, that you die if you answer yes to the question. So she goes and tries to basically tear away this Easter egg and take it out of existence. It's a weird, very weird premise. Really cool, and Takeshi, I think his name is. It's this kid. Really interesting character. I really like this character, but everything else was kind of meh. I thought this art and the Takeshi or whatever, he's pretty interesting, but overall, it was pretty meh. That's why I say it's like a 7 or 6 or 7. It's definitely enjoyable. I definitely, for a one-shot, would recommend it, but there's also a one-shot that's going to be right after this that I recommend way more, so stay tuned for that. Now, a one-shot you will be expecting a video from me in the future from is something I actually loved. I'm actually so happy I got this, and that is Hana Chan and the Shape of the World. Now, I would never have gotten this if it wasn't for the I can't see my face or whatever, that one-shot. If it wasn't for all those being like kind of damaged in my Barnes & Nobles, me seeing this and being like, yeah, that looks pretty similar and I'm in the mood for something like this. If I didn't get this, if there weren't any damaged volumes of that, I wouldn't have gotten this, and I am so happy. This art and this story was so wholesome, even though this is like the least wholesome panel. It was such an amazing kind of story, even though it was a completely episodic one-shot. It still left a lot of wholesome moments, and I really did love the cast. Now, if you want a little bit of a synopsis, it's just a small town with this main character of Hana Chan. We kind of just go through her daily life, even though it's really bizarre and wacky. As you might have saw, there's literally robots, but that's not like the whole entire thing. There's not just robots wandering. And it's really wholesome, very funny. The cast is an amazingly written cast. I really like Hana Chan. I love the whole entire I love how she's so bombastic, but not even that bombastic at the same time. If you know what I mean by that, it's really hard to explain with Hana Chan. But I think she's an amazingly written character. Definitely would think this is like a solid 8. Now, I know I use the word amazing a lot, but 8 is really good, mostly for a one-shot, because I don't really like one-shots too much, but this was done really well, and the ending was very cohesive. Even though it wasn't truly an ending, it felt like it was a pretty good way to end the story, and I felt like it was a really nice way to tie things up, and I really did like this volume. So if you're really into like those wholesome kind of one-shots, definitely suggest Hana Chan and the Shape of the World. Now, for the next series, I did completely spoil this in my haul, that I'm making a video for this week, so sorry if I spoiled that for you, but that is Fly Me to the Moon, or Tonikawa 1 through 5. I read this, and I said this in my haul, this is probably tied with Nagatoro as my favorite rom-com right now. Really, really like the wholesomeness and the cast in it, even though sometimes it's not the most wholesome thing in the world. It is so great to see Tsukasa and Nasa kind of how their relationship kind of blossoms, and seeing how they go about living with each other, and it's just a super wholesome story. And basically, for a synopsis of this series, there's this girl named Tsukasa, and she meets this guy named Nasa, and basically Nasa asks her out on a date when they were young, but she says, "I will not go on a date with you unless you marry me." And then he goes unconscious since he got hit by a bus, and after a long time, when he finally turns 18, she finally shows up on his doorstep, and they get married, and it's kind of like their everyday life as newlyweds that never really knew each other. And I think it's a super wholesome series with a lot of great moments, and I definitely would suggest this if you're into rom-coms. I think it made me laugh more than Nagatoro, but I like the cast more than Nagatoro, but I definitely do suggest Tonikawa. It's great, I love it. Of course I would have had Get, because I'm on that Shonen Sunday grind of buying all Shonen Sunday works. Of course this is Shonen Sunday, but I'm happy it's Shonen Sunday because it's great! So on to the next one though. Next up is another Shonen Sunday work that I'm really hyped to get more of, and I definitely need different volume 1 of, because this is basically bashed, just terribly damaged, but Kekkaishi volume 1. I really like this volume 1. Basically, for a synopsis, we follow our main character Yoshimori, oh my god, sorry, I forgot his name, so I had to go off here, because this was very early in the month, so I kind of forgot a lot about the name, but Yoshimori, and he's a Kekkaishi, or a demon hunter, and there's these two kind of clans, and they're at clashing heads, and basically he's best friends with the main girl of the other clan. It's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet story, but it's not like too much into the romance so far, so I don't know if they're actually just going to be full-on romance, or if it's just going to be a solid friendship that they're going to have. And yeah, it's kind of just them kind of hunting demons and growing their clan's name for the right now. And I really did enjoy this volume. I can see why it can get way longer, because it's 35 volumes, and I can see why they would expand upon that, because the power system alone is pretty cool, like Ketsu and stuff is really interesting. But I need to read more. I only have volume 1, I've only read volume 1, so I'm going to be trying to read more. Of course, I did get more in my haul last month, if you saw that, but I need to get more. I did enjoy this volume, but can't really say much, because, of course, I only read 1 volume, but yeah. On to the next one, though. The next one, I only did read 1 volume as well, but I loved it. It was an amazing volume 1, and if you watched my haul, I'll put it right here in a card, you would know that, and that is D. Gray Man volume 1. This is such an amazing shonen. I need more of this right now. I loved volume 1 of D. Gray Man. I can definitely see why people hype this up and why people think it's amazing, because I really liked it. The art style was really, really interesting. Definitely was a better way to read it physically, though. I thought the art style worked more physically than digitally, in my opinion, which might sound weird to you, but I just liked reading it more physically than digitally, way more. But, oh my god, this is so good. Basically, we follow this kind of demon hunter as well, named Alan Walker, and he's an exorcist, actually. He's just completely an exorcist. I don't know why I said demon hunter. He is just an exorcist named Alan Walker, and there's this person called the Millennium Earl making these kind of demons that kind of possess people's bodies, and it kills them, and it gives them these kind of demon-like forms. I don't know really how to explain it. If I can find a panel, I can show you. So right now, you're going to see it right now. So here's what they are. This is called an Akuma. And it's kind of like they're demons in this world, and it's really cool to see the Millennium Earl, and he's kind of shown his kind of interaction with Alan Walker pretty early on too. As you can tell, Alan Walker's hand is kind of not really right either. I'm not going to explain that right now because I don't want to go too far into this, but it's really interesting. Definitely suggest D. Grayman if you're into Exorcist manga or even just battle shonen. Really interesting read. Now the only thing is, now it's still technically ongoing, and the volumes come out really far apart from each other. Because the mangaka, she's on in the hospital a lot because of her illness, and so she's on a quarterly magazine, so she doesn't put out chapters too often. But I cannot wait for more, and I know it's in this final arc, so I cannot wait for this to finish just so I can binge it. And I love this so much. I cannot wait to see more, and I hear Alan Walker just becomes so much better of a protagonist, so we'll see what my opinions are when it finishes. And yeah, that's all for what I have to say for D. Grayman. On to the next series. Another Shonen Sunday work, because if you know, I'm a Shonen Sunday guru now, as Volume 1 of Komi Can't Communicate. I saw the anime coming out for this, and I wanted to start reading it because of that. I know I had to collect it at one point because Shonen Sunday, but I actually thought this would be overhyped for me, and of course it was a little bit, because people were making it out to be like the best thing ever, but it was still very enjoyable. I really did like it. Very wholesome, and if you don't know, I really like these like wholesome rom-commies. Even though this isn't technically a fully rom-com story, I do like these like wholesome comedies that have some romance elements in it. Really did enjoy it. So if you've been living under a rock and don't know what Komi is about, basically we follow this kid right here named Tadano Hito, and he becomes friends with this girl named Komi, who has a disorder that makes it really hard for her to talk to people, as she gets really nervous and she can't make friends because of it. And she becomes friends with Tadano because of a coincidence of him accidentally staying inside the classroom instead of going to gym class, and she does too, and then they kind of write on the chalkboard like right here, as you can tell, and that's how they communicate. And it was such a wholesome panel, and I really did like the kind of friendship Tadano and Komi had in this. That was a really interesting story, and I cannot wait to read more. I don't know how they have like 20 volumes of this though. I really don't know how they're going to do that, but of course, the main goal of Komi, well, the main goal that Tadano gives to Komi is to get 100 friends, and she only has 3 right now in volume 1, so of course, that makes sense, but there's probably a lot more volumes because she has to get way more friends, but very wholesome, very much great. It is very great, and I do much enjoy it. Even though my grammar for the last sentence or two has been horrendous, read Komi. I can't say anything else. Now, my third to last series I've actually read this month. Actually, my fourth to last series, because I forgot I actually read one digitally, even though I made a video on it, but I made a video on this one as well, and that is going to be Don't Toy Me Miss Nagatoro. I actually already read volumes 1 through 3 in the past, way far back, but I decided to reread them because the anime was coming out and I haven't read them in a while, and it made me just want to get more. So I got volume 4, 5, 6, and 7, and I read through them, and wow, I love Nagatoro. It's probably, like I said earlier, tied with my favorite with Tonikawa. I don't know why I just flew past my mind, but like I said earlier, I made a video on this. Card will be right here. If you want to know my opinions on Nagatoro, listen to me in that video. I love Nagatoro, like I said, so very good video in my opinion. It really did give a lot of praise to Nagatoro, and I think it very much deserves that. But yeah, that's all I have to really say about Nagatoro, and I'm going to get into my third to last series because my last two are actually kind of connected because they're the same manga, and I kind of want to compare my thoughts on both of them. So let's just get straight into my third to last series. Now, the third to last series that I actually read is not into physical, and I don't think it ever will be because it's very dark. I also made a video on this. It's going to be called Juujika No Rokunin. Here's the video. Wow. This is a very dark series, so if you're, even though it has the show, even though it's in the shonen demographic, if you're not good with dark stuff, don't read it. It's very sanity, and it has a lot of torture in it, and also a lot of sexual assault in it, so don't read it if you're a young one. It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but in my opinion, the story is great. Do really love the main character of Aruma and his dynamic with his grandpa, and if you want to know the synopsis or anything, my thoughts on it, go watch that video. Link will also be in the description for all these videos, just so you know. You don't have to get my card always, but link will also be in the description for these, but yeah. Wow, I don't know what else to say about it that I haven't said in the video, so just go watch that. So, this is going to be the start of an end for an era on my channel, because the next series I actually did read was Volume 1 of Dorohedoro. If you don't know the whole saga of Dorohedoro on my channel, I made like a whole scam video, even though I really didn't technically get scammed, where I bought it, and it didn't get shipped for me for 6 months, and they didn't charge me, but then I finally got it after like another 5 months of waiting, and I'm finally starting to read Dorohedoro. Now, as you can tell from what I said earlier, the next one is kind of obvious for what I read after this, but I wanted to compare the two. So right now I'm going to say Volume 1s of each Dorohedoro isn't as good as the other one, but I do like Dorohedoro a lot. And the thing about Dorohedoro is, I'll give a little bit of synopsis. Basically, you follow this man named Kaiman, who's like a lizard man, and he's right there, who got transformed into a lizard, and he's with this female named Nagatoro, and they're both trying to find out the man who actually turned him into a lizard, and he has this guy inside of his mouth that tells him if it is him or not. It's really interesting, and I really think there's a lot with Kaiman that you can really go upon, and I really can't wait to see what Kekkaishi does with Kaiman. The art is very rough. It's very, 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 good, but rough. I definitely do enjoy the art, though. It's really cool, and I really, really do enjoy the characters. The comedy in this as well, I hear the first like 8 volumes are more comedic than the rest, and I could see that. The first like couple chapters were very funny to me. I really love Kaiman, so cannot wait to read more Dorohedoro, but as you might be able to tell what the next series is, let's just get straight into it. The next series, as you might not be able to tell, Dai Dark Volume 1. I very much enjoyed Dai Dark Volume 1. Like I said, I actually like this more than Dorohedoro Volume 1. Basically, we follow this kid named Zaha Senko, and if you take his bones, you can grant a wish, any wish you actually want, and he's trying to find the person who granted this curse upon him, which is kind of like Dorohedoro in the same sense as they kind of have the same synopsis, but I loved Volume 1 of Dai Dark. Even though I did read it before Dorohedoro, that's probably why I didn't like Dorohedoro as much. I think Dai Dark just had this weird charm to it that Dorohedoro really didn't for me. And it's probably because Kekkaishi, this is their second work, so she probably was kind of already used to making a manga at this point. But I just love Zaha Senko. I don't know why, but Zaha Senko is just a protagonist that's really relatable and funny. And a little bit of backstory we do get with Zaha Senko in this volume was very interesting, and I really like the power system of this, like Dark Eye, Dark Flesh, and other Dark Paggy and all the dark stuff in there. I really do like the power system. It's very interesting, and I very much suggest Dai Dark. I very much liked it. And the next volume actually comes out in July, so expect that to get this. First of all, expect a video on this. I'm sorry if my language, like my grammar and English is bad. It's 2 a.m. for me right now, so I'm very tired. But expect a video of Dai Dark from me, and also expect Volume 2 to be in the manga I'm hyped for in July, because that series is continuing. Just gonna let that be known. And yeah, that should be it for this video, though. I hope you did, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry, I literally can't speak. Jesus. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!